Hey there, Jay here, and I just watched the sixth episode of Miss Marvel, also the season final, and I'm gonna give my thoughts on the episode as a whole. So I'm gonna go into spoilers with this, so if you haven't watched the episode and you don't want to get spoiled, go and watch the episode because there are a lot of things that happen in this episode. And if you don't care about spoilers or you already watched the episode, feel free to continue on watching this video. So let's get into it. So first I'm going to get into what I like about this episode, and what I like about this episode was that they've brought back that hyper and fun style from the first three episodes. In the fourth and fifth episode, we didn't get to see much of the hyper camera work or the visuals because they went to Karachi and the story there was more grounded. Granted, the pacing was a bit off there, but anyways, they brought back that kind of style here, but not as much. And this kind of proves my theory that the hyper style and the visuals kind of represent Kamala's maturity. So as I mentioned, this final had its fun moment, but there were a lot of grounded and heavy moments in the episode as they needed to be. And this episode managed to keep a good balance between the fun and the emotional and the heavy. And this was kind of balance that perhaps episode 4 and 5 needed more. And this is probably the most balanced of the tones that this series has been up to this point. Another thing that I like about this episode was that they managed to close things out quite well. I wouldn't say that they did the best job with it, but everything around the character Kamala Khan, they managed to close things out quite well. And wholesome is one word to describe the entire show actually, because this show, while it has its fun, it has this gags, at the heart of it, it's just wholesome in terms of the story, in terms of Kamala's character growth, and the character growth is seen the most in this episode, and this is why I feel like this episode is probably one of the most emotional ones out of all the 6 episodes so far. I'm going to get into something that made me feel mixed about this series, which was how they rushed some storylines. Specifically, the thing between Nakia and Kamala, Nakia, Bruno, and Kamala. Actually, most of the things that happens within Kamala's high school, like the story with Zoe and Kamala, how Kamala saved Zoe and all of that, I feel that that aspect of the series has been either cut short or rushed. And I could tell that maybe cut out some part of things from there, and I did wish that we get to see it flesh out more because those characters were quite centric to Kamala's story. But overall, for the season finale of Miss Marvel, I say that this is one of the better finals out of all the MCU series so far. It's better paced, it's better balanced, and it had the right amount of heart while it also have fun. Now I'm going to talk about the series as a whole and what I feel about it. So overall, I say that Miss Marvel is one of the better MCU series so far. I would say it's in my top 3 actually. And maybe I'm biased because I generally enjoy teenage superhero series or movies a lot, but that's just my opinion. And it's hard not to enjoy this series for me because it was just so much fun, a lot of heart, and it was just so wholesome. Another thing it was that Iman Vellani really brought Kamala Khan to life from the comic book pages. That character has so much fun and it's so much brightness, there's so much light to that character, and Iman really brought all of that out. Not just her, the other supporting cast did quite well as well, and the family dynamic and all of that, there was just so much relatability to the character and to the family dynamics, and that's why I think I enjoy the series a lot. Tone and pacing wise though, I would say that while the tone and pacing has been great in the first 3 episodes, and it kind of got back to be better in the last episode, the fourth and fifth episode, I've been quite clear that while I don't think those episodes were terrible, and I quite enjoyed them, I felt like the pacing in the fourth and fifth episode was a bit off. But overall, it didn't affect my experience of this series as a whole. And I would say that Miss Marvel not only just made me fall in love with this character and this world, it made me more excited for the Marvel that is coming next year, because I wasn't a fan of Captain Marvel because of how they did the story, and it just didn't really work for me back then. But now seeing Miss Marvel, I'm more excited to see the Marvels because of this character, and I can tell they have plans for her, and has just begun her journey in the MCU. So overall, Miss Marvel has been a fun ride, and I can't wait to see where Kamala Khan, this character, goes in the MCU. So what do you think? Did you enjoy the series as much as I did, or maybe you didn't? Feel free to let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below.